Hey, what's up, folks? So, one thing that I never really allow for myself to do or to feel is bored. So, I like to say that I actually never get bored. And then, there's the saying that only born people get bored and things like that as we try to find external solutions for our internal problems. But then, uh, there's also the saying that you're bored for a reason. It's a good thing to be bored, or there's a logical explanation for that, and it's not because you're boring. It's just that you may be doing something that doesn't light up your life. Um, so when I speak of monotony and things like that, it's very easy to take away from this lust for life, this zest that we have. When you just get accustomed to doing the same thing over and over and over again, quite robotic in that aspect, and it can happen to even somebody who doesn't have a set schedule, like myself. So, what do you do when you get bored? Because it's very easy in this day and age for your time to be occupied, and that is danger. All right, that's dangerous. If you don't take control of your time, then other people will. They'll feed you whatever. I mean, they're creating, you're consuming. It has to go from somewhere to the next. So you find yourself scrolling, with no north star, without your lighthouse, working for you. You're just bound to be at everybody's mercy in a sense. You just kind of, what do you have for me? I'm open, whatever you have to give to me. And quite frankly, it may take you on all types of trips and what have you, and you'll have your reactions and you'll have your stimuli. But what will it do for your brand, in a sense, for your overall quality of life? So if I don't know what to do, if I do get bored, or if I just feel blah, I don't really feel like doing anything, or don't feel inspired, whatever it may be, one of the first things that I do, and it's quite new these days, but I will just unplug. So the first thing I'll do is I'll not be on social media at all. Okay? And if I do get on YouTube, it's going to be something informative that I may put on while I play chess, which is what I do to shake things up. But seeing as I'm like, I never really like to admit that I ever get bored, or I just, for the most part, I just don't experience it. I'm trying to calibrate it to your own personal life. So I would say that you gotta shake things up first of all, and it doesn't have to cost you anything. Right now, I'm in the park. I'm in the parking lot of a park. I mean, I was just by the water, but you go to the park and just observe and just write like I was doing. Just writing and just trying to see what's missing in my particular life right now, what's missing out of this day, what's going to make it better, and just give myself some things to look forward to, and remind myself to really get some joy out of this life, because it's not guaranteed to just come around just because you feel like you're holding out for it. All right, so that's the first thing that I would do, is just to just examine life and all those things. And then I also ask myself, like, what are the things that you really want to do? Because we have this Stockholm syndrome thing where it's like, but it's a different kind. It's not this type of Stockholm syndrome where we just defend it. It's just like, I'm just loyal to my master, even if it doesn't serve me in the way that I think I deserve to be served. Even if it doesn't fulfill me, this is all I know, so this is what I'm going to do. Alright, so obviously, uh, that can be detrimental, and it takes away from, you know, our potential, our ceiling. Um, so you want to shake things up, and you want to read those books that you always been meaning to read, and you want to go to different places just because, like this is there's something to say about somebody who's considered to be free, and has the money to go to a water park, for example, that's not too far away from here. It's not that expensive to go to this nice little water park. And like, I don't do these things. I don't throw any fun into my life. Now, I guess you could say it's a external solution in a sense, but being in the pool, being in the water, and just higher vibration, everybody's having fun. It's great for the spirit. It's great, and then you spending time in the sun. All right, so you're being present, and presence will take away a lot of boredom. All right, it just so happens that we can't quite focus on something if we're not interested. So that's what we find ourselves doing. Scrolling, might have TV playing in the background, might have music playing in the background, maybe entertaining all these different discussions, may have 50 tabs open. All of these things, it buries us in that sense. So that's why I like to simplify things, and even if I feel like I didn't get all I needed to get out of those 20 tabs open or whatever, I'll just exit out all of them at once and pick them up later, So that's why I'm a big fan of just eliminating a lot of distractions, and just kind of reset myself and try to focus on, okay, well, if I'm going to take some things out of my life, what am I going to add to it? So always looking to add. Always ask myself, okay, so what creations am I going to make? Because I think that I'm the most satisfied when I know I'm creating. Now, even sometimes that's not enough to satisfy me, but if I am going to be satisfied, it's going to be because I feel like I added more to this life. I planted more seeds. I added more to the time capsule. I did more meaningful things. As I'm trying to find a connection to this human existence, but still acknowledging the matrix aspect or the potential simulation that we may be living in. It's something that I'm exploring. I'm not looking to start, any type of war, or not trying to change the way everybody views the world, but you just gotta imagine that there's more to life when your parents give birth to you. It's without your consent. You have to abide by all of these rules. You have to do a bunch of things that you don't want to do. And it just seems like, and it doesn't even just seem like, but for the most of us, that will be our life until the day that we die. And when I think about why I'm still here, when I think about all the times I could have committed suicide and I really wanted to, there isn't too much of me that wants to live a normal life. There isn't too much of me that wants to fit in with the normies, in a sense, with the average person, because I understand that the average person isn't happy at all. The average person has probably made him or herself robotic, just through necessity. So I mean, that's not to pick at anybody, but because it's very easy when there's no room for you to explore, which is something that would really crush boredom, is to explore. Now, a great deal of my personal exploration was within my mind, but there's many benefits to physically just going to new places, man, taking it all in. It does make all the difference. You don't have to go too far, but just just doing different things, and it doesn't have to be this big monumental thing. Like, again, water parks around me. All right, there's a bunch of laughter going on there. Cheap pizza or whatever, mini golf, batting cages, and just take it all in and be present. And I think that presence will actually kill a lot of boredom. And another thing is just to make time to rock out. To put your headphones on and be in the dark and explore your mind and your emotions in such a way where it is considered taboo to do it in your place of work, on the public transportation, just out in public. Use it in the darkness. You're supposed to come alive. You're supposed to show aspects that most people just won't see, or if anybody. And that's the thing. We put so many restrictions on ourselves that even when we're all alone, still restrictions. We still feel restricted. So that's something that's been a bit intriguing to me as someone who's kind of a wild man, but still found a way to contain himself. I found a way to imprison myself. Like, I must have subconsciously believed that I had to force myself into a schedule that just didn't work for me. It was uninspiring, and I'm spending a lot of time basically in the darkness, just being in the house all the time. And I do like embracing the darkness, but I want to see more in life, put out more in life, so I can hold on to more, so I don't have to buy into that only the little bit that I force myself to see is all that I'll ever know. And that's a problem, is that we get so accustomed to seeing things so much it just becomes all that we know, and we don't go seeking more. And some people would make us, and no one can make us feel it more than ourselves, but we will make ourselves feel guilty for wanting more, or even thinking about more. And when other people say we should be just satisfied with what we have, but no, absolutely not. You should not be satisfied with what you have if you're not satisfied. All right, now be grateful for the things that you have, but don't try to convince yourself to settle, to take a hard bargain just because the uncertain aspects of life are, well, uncertain. They aren't a sure thing, but you have a great say in that. So, hey, look, shake up your routines. All right, the things that you're accustomed to doing, do it a different way. All right, give yourself something to look forward to by way of exploration. Now, it doesn't have to be something where you save up all of this money from your paycheck and then in a matter of one day you spend it all on taking a trip out of town. If that's not the thing for you, if there are other options where you can come alive, still keep some money that you can invest or whatever you choose to do with it, or that's just going to allow you to have more fun over the long haul, then then you just go with that. But always go for the things that's going to work for you, and understand that as you may be robbing yourself of joy right now, I'm thinking that you're going to have joy in the future, which I kind of understand that logic. You got to understand, like, you don't know when your time's going to be up. Like, yeah, you could live an extra 100 years from this point, but you could only live, maybe you lived 10 days. Who knows? So the goal is to make the most out of any given moment. So when we are bored, when we just don't really know what to do, then that's the time we have to be extremely critical. Extremely critical in the sense where we don't settle. So we're not going to settle for scrolling. We're not going to settle for, what mediocre thing is on television. No, we're going to focus within. We're going to see what we can add to this world. We're going to see what fun things we can do. It doesn't have to be expensive. All right? We're going to, eat good food. And that's what you do when you're bored. Another thing that you don't want to do is complain about it and act like it's the world's fault while you're bored. Oh, I live in a rural area, or it's not live enough outside. Like, it's just not. Maybe it's not live enough within you. So you gotta put your energy towards the outcome that you're seeking. All right. So thanks a lot.